All right, guys, just a quick run through what happened today. It was pretty much the opposite of yesterday. So we had silver down, but gold up. We had the miners up. We had yields and the dollar down. It's pretty much the opposite. The only exception was that the markets were also down, like yesterday, except the Russell and the banks. I might get to that actually later, but yeah, that's it really. Remember, tomorrow is inflation numbers out of Europe. Who cares about Europe? Well, actually, Europe can count, but America, more importantly. So actually, no, Europe does still count. Sometimes it's a bit indicative. So, but yeah, inflation numbers. So that'll be huge. That'll move the markets. That probably explains also why there was no continuation. So let's look at the dollar here. I thought because we closed here at 105 would continue up, but the opposite happened. It was just pretty much retracing yesterday. We still ended up a little higher if you take the average between the 2 days. But I feel like it's just because no breakout is allowed because of tomorrow's numbers. If yes, inflation is lower than expected, then that means rate hikes are not necessarily going to be that aggressive, and therefore it can go lower. But if inflation is too high, this is ridiculous logic, but it's been going on for ages. It's literally the opposite. But if inflation is too high, then oh my God, they're gonna increase rate hikes more than anticipated, therefore the dollar goes up. I guess that's the way it's supposed to play out. But let's just see, let's let the charts do it for us. But so far, I think the charts are telling us that no breakout yet in the dollar. This is a mini breakout anyway, but until the inflation numbers come out. Likewise, the yields, I really think that the bias is still to the upside, but news can change that. We had a retracement from yesterday again. 10 years, same thing. 5 years, same thing. 2 year that actually wasn't even up really yesterday. That retrace. So just leveling off from its just nearest resistance. I guess it kind of makes sense. Why have a breakout and then tomorrow it's wrong? So I guess it kind of makes sense. So that's the yields on the dollar. Otherwise, gold, pretty decent. I thought that we might come back down to 2300 and do a bit of a curl, but we actually, and it surprised me, we pretty much made a curl, if I can call it that, at the prior support, where we were at a few days ago, trading days ago. So here, let's call it 2325-ish. I'll go to the 1 hour chart. Actually, this is another trend line that you can see more visibly here. You can see this descending breakout ready to happen. I feel like it might happen before the EU numbers come out. It's very tight, very tight. There will be a decision tomorrow. There's no doubt about it. And remember this trend line here at 2370 that could end up being breached tomorrow if we move up. So there will be a decision tomorrow. The charts specifically are telling you that. So, but yeah, gold pretty good, pretty good given how weak silver was. So literally the opposite of yesterday, right? Yesterday gold was down, but silver was doing quite well. It's quite incredible. I've never seen days where it's really the opposite across all the asset classes. And yeah, gold up but silver down. Silver down here. Um, no trend break, of course. We're far from that on the long term, the medium term, even the short term. Let me go to the 1 hour chart. I've also got a bit of a trend line I drew in here. I guess that's only valid for today. I'll remove it now. It kind of held across the day. This is no longer relevant, but it's like mathematics in the old days. Show your workings. Let's see what happens. I think it's pretty clear. Little levels here. There's so much support in gold and silver. So it wouldn't be hard to buy dips if we flush down. But let's just wait for the market to do its thing. We're in no hurry. But yeah, just a drop to the next level. But then again, that's after having a decent move the last couple of days. So still flagging near its highs. The miners were up, pretty impressive, with silver being down a decent amount and still holding its ascending, right? GDXJ, SILJ, and GDX, all within the ascending. So all looks good. If we have a nice pop tomorrow, honestly, we should start. Let's think about it. How much of a move is that? 5% is doable. You could have it all the way up to the top. And what a weekly candle that would be, right? Imagine you close the week all the way at the top, like a higher close than here across the board, right? Not just GDXJ, but honestly, SILJ could actually have a close above 13, even above 13.10. That would be extraordinary. And then next week is just a massive move higher, like 10%. It could all go all the way up to 15. Wow, think about that. So imagine tomorrow we go from here to there. I mean, 3%. Trust me, if it's bullish, that's not much. We close above 1310, and then all of next week you're asking for a 15% move. That could happen. So that's something to consider. If the move is bullish, it would be very, very bullish candles for the weekly close. And yeah, GDXJ is probably quite similar, 3-4%, yeah, to 47. So, and big numbers are being breached there. Let's see what the inflation numbers give. If I guess the logic is if the inflation numbers are low, then rate hikes are not necessary, therefore buy everything, especially the gold and silver miners. So, but again, we don't really care. That's just a number. And even if we collapse like a little bit, we'll recover and breach like 2 weeks later or something, worst case scenario. I don't even think the inflation numbers are important because they're all fudged anyway, right? I mean, they even include GDP, which is basically government debt. It's the whole thing's a giant scam anyway. We know that the inflation is way worse than they say. All right, let's look at the portfolio very quickly. I'm not going to run through all of them because it was pretty much a sideways day, right? You can see here 0.5%, 1%. What was a bit special, a little bit special, Metalla. I did say I felt that one was, let's reset the chart. That one was a bit stronger than the others. Let's bring it here. You can see Metalla was just, yesterday was supposed to be a horrible day and it was kind of sideways. And look at what happened today. Today we were up almost 3%, close at high of day. If we have a good day for miners tomorrow after the news is, and remember, I haven't mentioned it, but whenever you get big data releases, I've noticed just there's a seesaw effect in the markets. It goes up and then goes all the way back down, and it could actually end up going lower than it initially went up. So once the market has digested the news, give it like an hour or something, or at least half an hour. But if the end result is the market up, I think Metallica could close like above 350, making next week really important for Metallica. I really think that could happen. Metallica deserves to be at 4 already, way beyond 4. So I think next week could be the week where it gets to 4 if tomorrow is bullish. That's one thing I'd like to mention. Another one, a stock I never cover, actually rarely cover, Nova Gold. It kind of reminds me of B2 Gold. Let me just reset the chart and show you how butchered it's been over the years. I don't know the story. I mean, I've seen the stock. No, I've never traded in it for years. I've been trading miners for like 15 years, maybe more. So I've always seen the name. It's well established, but I don't understand. Just down, 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 lower highs, lower lows, all the way down here. This is really like B2 Gold. But I did notice, I think it was over here. I noticed, look at this clear trend line, this 330, let's call it. Prior support, resistance there, very important. And here, very obvious. And then there, and then you gap up above there, and then off you run. And it just keeps going. And now look at this. And where are we now? More importantly, after already a decent move from 230, or 80%, let's say. And now the real strategic breakout can happen. Not in one go, it'll probably retrace because it's had a hell of a run, but this can run to, I can run a lot, of course, but it could do another 100% from here quite soon. And it reminds me of B2 Gold, which I filled my full position in today. I bought the rest at 283. I kind of chased it. I bought 1/3 yesterday and 2/3 today. I normally wouldn't do that. I would give it like big leg room, an entire level. I was impatient. I thought, okay, and plus it looked good at the beginning, so pretty much bought the rest where I bought the beginning in the space of one day. So there you go. But it reminds me, this Nova Gold. Can you see what I mean? Lower lows, lower highs, and I feel like B2 Gold could soon do what Nova Gold did, which is breach and go to the next level. I mean, they are different stocks entirely, but you know what I mean? I feel like it could go to 3, whatever this is, and then start its breakout because I think long term this one is a monster. Um, I mean, that was it, there's no other stocks. Coeur d'Alene actually surprised me, the last one. I mean, it did okay yesterday. That was a bit of a indication that there was some strength because, it had a green day yesterday, despite a big red, not big, but a red day for the miners. And today we tested 6. We didn't close there, but it looks strong. So if it's a big day for miners tomorrow, big boom. Let's go to 750. Not by next week, but we begin that March next week. So again, it all depends on how the market interprets the inflation data. So that's it. I'm not going to waste your time anymore. Hope you enjoy. Good luck to all of us, and let's see what the inflation numbers bring.